Oh, man, it ruined it. Good evening, Service Alliance community. How y'all doing tonight? Well, tonight we are back with the hot seat. We are on a different night, but that's all right. It's a good time. We'll be moving to the second Tuesday every month going forward. And tonight we have some special guests. But before I do that, let me bring up my co-host for the night. You know him. You love him. Mr. EJ Magic Mike Johnson.
What's going on, everybody? You got
What's
me
up,
muted.
buddy?
Man, I'm excited. It's been a little while. I don't get to do this with you that often. And tonight we've got guests. Two guests I'm excited about. We bring in two of the VIPs of parts supplier reps. I don't know if there's any better out there. So for one, we got the guy you all know, Reggie Williams from Encompass. This dude may be more famous than all of us. Reggie, what's going on, brother?
Oh, you're still muted.
Alliance Group. So do you guys ever go by SAG? Like, I'm in a SAG hot seat.
No.
Okay.
No. That's why we're going to put you at the bottom now. You done messed up. We brought you in and you done screwed up. Now,
I'm reading, man.
the other guy we got, special one that you might have seen on the Appliance Alliance, Service Alliance morning grind from sunny South Florida, Saul Flores from Marcone. What's going on, Saul?
Hey, listen, man.
It's not auto unmuting people tonight. I don't know what the heck. Technology tonight is just
what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here. We're
So
here.
how's it going, man?
Time for the hot seat. What's going on? Hey, I want to tell you this. We came up with this idea a long time ago that we was going to bring the industry's best to you each time we do these episodes, okay? And then when it came up, parts suppliers, parts reps, we had two names on our mind, okay? I couldn't imagine having anybody else. We invited a couple others after we got you locked in. You see where they are tonight. So thank you guys both. Want to say to all of our listeners out there, you could be anywhere in the world right now, like Brother B says, but you're right here with us, and we thank you, Saul and Reggie, for coming on 8 o'clock at night your time on a weeknight to join us here in the Alliance Group. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Glad to have you guys.
We here, man. So how you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, man?
Good. Doing well.
Awesome.
Tim, what's up, Tim Burdick?
Tim Burdick.
There's a guy we need to get. He's one of the ones we need to get in the hot seat along with Rob Jones, and
Tim will be here in a heartbeat.
Who's our GE man? We need to get him in there too.
Oh, Juan Morales.
Yeah.
Morales.
Yeah.
He's down.
I want to get the three of them on. We're waiting on Rob Jones. He's been a huge supporter of ours, and he's in the transition into the company. We can't mess with that flow yet, but he will be coming.
Hey, Scott, none of that negativity in here, brother. None of that negativity. We ain't playing that. Hey, shout out to Marcone. Facebook user loves you, man. George
Hey,
says
George.
Reggie was hanging out with George. Hey, I've been enjoying George's lives. George has been doing the lives from Orlando, showing that bespoke collection that Samsung's got. That's some nice stuff, really. I mean, say what you want about Samsung. They're doing new things.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
George is at every event, man. I'm going to start carpooling with him. That guy, he's dialed in.
He's doing something successful out there. Hey, there he is. Rob, we've got the whole gang here. Samsung in the house.
Rob.
What's going on?
Nice.
He's coming. He's coming.
He's coming. He's all in. He's bought all in. It's just a matter of timing with that.
All right. So we're gonna lay the ground rules, okay? Just so everybody out there knows, you know the Alliance group. We ain't picking favorites, although we may have, maybe. Okay. The Alliance group voted. Okay, they voted the best part suppliers in the industry, and you're looking at 2 of the top 3 right now.
Yep. And you know, we were very. I know we got 3rd, and to be honest, with you, very proud of that because previous polls we weren't even mentioned, and that was just based off of popularity, you know. But those polls are good. It gives everybody insight. You know, like
well,
you said, on us.
don't shortchange yourself there, buddy. You've been out there working pretty hard, earning that business. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that
we've been out there.
Sure.
We've been out there, man. We've been, you know.
Oh boy.
Oh
boy.
I finally froze with a decent look on my face.
Yeah.
I was looking at the other screen like, hey, I kind of look good right now. Y'all couldn't hear me. But anyways,
it's funny.
We're back. We may have some technical difficulties. If you notice, I'm in a different office now. It's a different background.
SSG in the house.
Mona's in the house. All right, so we're not here tonight to promote any particular part supplier or to bash. What we're doing is bringing another perspective to you guys out there in the community. 2 of the best, in our opinion. We're biased. This is our show, so we get to pick if we want.
Hey, want to try something real quick? Saul, give me a fist bump, man.
I got you.
So we're not going to talk pricing, and we're not going to talk shipping because that just doesn't do anything. All of us know what the deal is. We all know what the pricing is. We all know what the shipping is. Get over yourselves. Put those questions to bed.
All right. So we're going to kick it off to my buddy here. I got to get my fingers right. Zach, start it off, man.
All right. So one of the things that we always start any podcast, any hot seat, anything with, and I'm going to throw this down to you first. Reggie is going to be, well, obviously we know your name, but how many years have you actually been in the industry, in the service industry, in the appliance industry, in this world? Yeah.
So I've been in it for 10 years. So it seems like everything I do is 10 years. So I was in the car business for 10 years, did finance and was a rep, and then got in the appliance business for 10 years, and now I'm with Encompass as a rep. So I guess, you know.
Well, we got 10 years with you.
I should be locked into 2032, right?
Nice. And I'm going to toss that same question over to you.
So,
sorry, guys. Yeah, well, I've been with Marcone for almost 20 years, man. I started off at one of our stores in North Miami. I had no idea what appliances was. If you told me what appliance was, I'll tell you, what? And it's funny because it was a friend of mine that actually it told me, hey, come work over here, come work with me. And he's now works for one of our competitors, but we still talk every once in a while. But yeah, I started off at then I ran the branch for a while. Then I ran our Miami branch, which we have our export department out of there, and we had an HVAC department out as well, which I handle a lot of the inventory there as well. And after that, the VP of sales offered me the job to be outside sales. And I said, sure, why not? Let me try it. Something that I haven't tried this in the company, so let me just do that. And I've been there ever since, doing outside sales for the last, I want to say, 7 years.
That's cool. That's really cool. Nice. And you're doing outside sales as well, Reggie. Like you're kind of like a traveling sales rep, correct?
We drive around knocking on doors all day.
He already answered my question, so I figured I'd just bring you into the loop with my next questions. What your current role is in the industry? So, and obviously we know the companies that you work for, Encompass and Marcone. respectively. So
can I elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I would think before I got this job, I didn't even know a parts rep position. I didn't even know that even existed. I've never had a rep come by my shop for any company, and even when I go by the guy working out of his garage, they feel so like you can see the appreciation and be like, man, you spending your time to come see me. But as a rep, it's our job to go service the customer, have FaceTime, put out fires, and just be the eyes and ears, man. Because the alternative is what? Calling customer service, and sometimes you speak to different people, and it gives you somebody to represent who you're spending money with.
Well, and I think it must be an area thing, and I guess you two can correct me if I'm wrong. I was so used to reps coming to my door all the time for the last 10 years. Like, it didn't matter to the company. Every single one of y'all was coming to my door, whether it was the littlest parts company I've never heard of all the way, to the big guys.
I'll say that's an isolated experience, or I'm the isolated experience, Zach. Maybe because you're in Chicagoland, a bigger market.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Nobody has been to EJ's Appliance Repair yet. Going on 4 years in business. Reggie is coming to see me next week. Shout out to Reggie. Like and subscribe for Reggie and Saul for being the difference makers, the VIPs.
Yeah, I mean, so I've had reliable reps come by. I've had the new kids on the block, Union Electronics, come by. I've actually had some Marcone guys come by. Dave Smith is very close to me, so I've known him for quite a few years. And we, obviously we used to have Sunberg reps that were a little more active, but it's got to be because it's a metro. I'm shocked that didn't happen more often in Georgia, though. I don't know. Are you guys doing a real big push on going out and getting face-to-face time? And either you or both of you can answer that question. Are you guys trying to, as a company, as an industry, trying to get more face time with customers?
Yeah, we're always looking to try to to go out there and see customers and all that stuff. I think that a lot of stuff that happened during COVID kind of put us in a different kind of playing field. COVID kind of put us out to a lot of our travels, and we're back now into travel stuff. But we for a while we were let's just hold back and see what happens, and as time goes by, we're starting getting back in the groove of things and seeing more clients and things like that. I don't cover the state of Georgia. I covered half the state of Florida. Florida is if you look at it, it's a long
huge.
It's its own country.
Yeah.
So, Florida, Texas.
Yeah. You go some parts of Florida, man, they don't even speak English. They all just talk to you in Spanish. Some of the clients that you go see, it's I say, hey, man, I brought you a shot of Cuban coffee. And they're like, oh, man, ¿cómo tú estás? They start speaking that. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, yeah, come buy your parts. and it's just funny that way, man. But Florida is it's very unique. It's a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong. But the traffic over here would absolutely destroy you. Let me just tell you that right now.
I don't know.
Hey, I'll tell you, all three of you, I've been in all three areas. I don't know which one's worse. I would have said Atlanta. I'd given that to Reggie. I gotta say Chicago's probably the worst, but Florida was not good.
Right.
Georgia can do it across 8 lanes. We do it across 3.
So I'll tell you, from what I've seen, as soon as Reggie came into the game, and of course he's on YouTube, so we see it, and is on Facebook, and I see you, man. You're going out to all of these different supplier or all these businesses,
right,
wherever they are, in their house, in their store, the warehouse, out to dinner. I thought that was it, and then I see Saul. He's living it, man. I've met the guys that he services and these guys are getting out there and visiting. Is it just you guys, or is it just something I've been missing?
No, we've got a team nationwide. But as far as my heart and what I do, it's because I never got visited. And the reaction I get when I do see guys like working out of the garage who, I don't care if you spend $100 a month in parts or 10 grand, whatever, we're gonna come see you. And I want to be the rep I always wanted. And that's how I proceed.
That's good. That's good. So speaking of all these different businesses, right? And you guys have seen all of it. You both have been in the industry for a long time and seen a lot of businesses out there. Different size businesses and different types. Saul, you want to talk a little bit about the different types of businesses you see in our industry and sizes, and what stands out to you?
Yeah, I tell you what I've been seeing a lot lately, man. I've been seeing a lot of businesses subcontracting the work. It's you have a one man business owner, then he's just subbing all the contract work. Now that works, but sometimes and you guys can speak on this, it's not always a good thing, right? Because they don't really have control of the employees. And I've been seeing that a lot. I mean, I'm sure they're trying to save money, cut stuff, and all that stuff, and at least that's what I've been seeing in certain areas. And believe it or not, I've been seeing a lot of Russian market in Florida, which was something that was not really pronounced as much. But there's a lot of Russians coming up in the market now, having these accounts and stuff like that. So I don't know if that answers the question, but
yeah. What are you saying, Reggie?
Well, what I see is people trying to still recover after COVID. You will have these servicers that had 30 techs that now has to now they're down to 10, but they still got 30 tech worth of bills. And they're just trying to make it. And so now I see also people so you're at a point where you try to hire techs if you can, but now they're just going to make a tech. So they'll get this green pea where before you want to give them the time of day, and they'll send them to training like to SSG or TMM or SNEED or wherever, and they'll send them out to get trained. And then, how am I going to ride along and create a tech? And then also the investments in the techs you have. Like I see a lot now. So now it's almost required to not, if you've been in the business for so long, you need to learn steel systems, because, even the margin with that will help, to save the business and keep things going. So
well, I think, you guys have been in this long enough. You can speak to it too. It seems like generationally, these machines are just not going the distance, right? I'm sure you guys are seeing that as far as even on the parts turnover side, right? Like you guys are seeing a lot more churn in what you're stocking, I assume.
Yeah, there's different kinds of it's not like the old days where you had one part would fit 20 different machines. Now it's there's a computer board for this, there's a board for this, there's something else for this. But I'll tell you what I'm seeing a lot too is a lot of manufacturers are going into diagnostic tools. You see it with GE and the Smart HQ. They're trying to come up. I think Samsung has its own. So I think
Samsung's is nice. I'll tell you what, when it works, whew, baby, it's nice.
When it works. But as far as what I'm seeing, I'm seeing a lot of tech tools coming out where they're diagnosing things, fairly quickly. They're reading all the computer boards and all that stuff. So I think every single manufacturer at one point is going to catch on and say, we got to develop this kind of tool to fix our appliances.
Yeah, what would you... Go ahead.
It's definitely going that direction, because you see, if you look at the progression of, when direct drives was plug and play, no matter what part it is, till I don't say GE probably the pioneer of trying to put electronics in appliances. I used to have a saying, electronics and water never mixed, when it comes to washers. But everything, even look at the GE VMWs, you've got an actuator now in there, and then you have, the lids where everything has wires and electronics in it, the boards, especially now when you see the pressure switch now is now on the board. And so before, when you had, a $30 part to change, now it's $150 part because you got to change out the whole thing. But I just think, so with that, the progression of that naturally will be a module that tells you where to look first, which will help too, because with returning boards, man, that is actually that hurts. And and as a supplier, it's hard to, you don't want to take a board in and then restock it, but it's $150 board. But yeah, that is the way I feel that's the way we're going.
Well, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because exactly what you said, like how often do you have a technician that misdiagnoses it, and either we as the owners eat it, or you as the parts house eats it, right? It comes across as like it's a warranty or whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, I can see where that diagnostic style, it does help. And the reason I said when Samsung works is there's only certain generations of their stuff that it actually works with. So the ones it works with works great. I haven't had an issue with it, right? But what would you say? This was the question I was going to follow up with. Like, do you guys see an OBD2 style thing coming for our industry? I mean, I have a hard time foreseeing people being willing to keep up with this. Someone's going to step in and regulate it. That's my opinion. I'm curious where you guys are going or thinking.
I think for me, okay, so I get a chance to go deep into my background, but most of you gonna know I was a flipper. I flipped washers and dryers, and the advantage that gave me was there's no pressure of the customer looking over my shoulder. If I wanted to be a quote unquote parts changer, I can change. I guess, let me see if this works. Okay, that's the problem. And after a while, you have a mental library, and so I got to a point where I have my customers send me a picture of the machine and tell me what's it not doing, what issues it's giving you. And I'll be probably 90, I'll be humble. 95% of the time, I knew exactly what it was. And I feel like we're probably going in a direction with the self-diagnosis where you can send a Green Pea tech out for a code and say it's probably one of two things. At some point it should narrow down to that. But obviously, nothing is better than the eyeball test. Nothing beats that. So even if I had you hear somebody got a direct drive and it's not going to spin, and so and there's some wires hanging off the side. You think okay, it's probably a lid switch, but you just never know till you actually get there. Even if you feel you're 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever a substitute for actually being able to diagnose something. Right? Like, because, I mean, I think back to Whirlpool training. I did a Whirlpool training, and the trainer was like, well, you shove some super lube in, some dielectric grease, and that should solve the problems with the BMW. Like, the entire room just threw their hands in the air like, what kind of pile of crap are you designing? Are you kidding me? Right? So there's still, I think there's still going to be, like you're saying, there's still going to be that dichotomy where there has to be someone who's actually technically trained. But I think of the car industry, and then we'll pass it off to you. So the car industry, the government stepped in and said, okay, this hodgepodge crap can't keep happening. We gotta standardize this somehow, because like, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous to have the software to run OBD2, but it was even more ridiculous generations ago. So,
yeah, I don't think like in the car industry is a little bit different, I would say, because it's like it's heavily regulated by the government. There's a lot of safety things that are that go on to it. You're getting into a car that drives 140, 150 miles an hour that could potentially kill other people and other stuff. So I don't think that in the appliance business, they're looking to regulate now. As far as they'll be like energy efficiency. That's as far as I think that they will go. And I don't see like other manufacturers going into like one device so that they can work on many different appliances. For that to happen, I think you would need to get every single manufacturer involved and say, hey, we're going to develop this tool together. Now you're talking about possibly getting manufacturer secrets, right? Where, whether it's Whirlpool sharing their branding secrets with GE and Electrolux and Samsung and LG. And from a competitive standpoint, I just don't see that happening. The appliance market very, very competitive. They're constantly trying to outdo each other. So
Yeah.
I don't see it in that. I think each one of them is going to develop their own and just kind of brand it off that way. But I don't see them all collaborating into one cohesive unit.
Well,
I
think that's what Zach was saying too. Is that in order for that to happen, somebody or something, the government would have to step in and regulate and enforce that. My concern with it is I'd love to have one tool, right? I just ordered my GE Smart HQ tool, and still got to get it programmed and whatnot to get it started. But I'm excited for it. I'm interested in what Samsung has, but yeah, Rob, right on, buddy. My concern with either of it is, man, what's that going to cost? Like each one of them is $800 a year, $1,000 a year. And I'm not in the automotive industry, but what I've heard is getting that annual subscription is in the thousands. And, they can't afford to do it every year. So the updates is a problem. Like I had a friend that was doing it, and he would only get the update. He would only buy it every 3 years because he's like, hey, I'm not going to work on any cars that are in the first 3 years of their life. One, I can't afford to buy the programming. That's where I'm concerned about it hitting.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that I want the government to step in, but I'm looking at the patterns of things, and it makes me consciously curious, I guess is the way that I will put it. I'm consciously curious because think about how many lawsuits are rolling down the pipe, and eventually, I mean, look what happened with the credit industry, and then we end up with the credit, the Consumer Credit Protection Act and stuff like that. So I'm curious how long they're going to kind of let the lawsuits and things like that play out with customers not being able to get stuff fixed when they're dropping that kind of money. So time will tell.
So let's switch gears a minute. Get back onto a topic that these guys might have something to say in, right? So we've asked, we've talked about what we expect as appliance industry people from you guys. What kind of things can we do to help you provide service for us?
I would tell you, stop taking 20 parts on a ride on your truck and then bringing 10 back.
Well, that's Reggie didn't want to answer that question.
He really didn't like that question at all.
Hey,
That's funny.
Give a like for Reggie just to get him back, okay?
So, I mean, that kind of lends itself to the next question. Are you seeing trends with that?
I think that there's a lot of like third-party warranty companies, and what I talk to a lot of customers is that they tell me that, hey, they're just sending me the parts. They're sending a whole bunch of parts, and then take back what you don't need. And people don't realize how much that hurts, because that part that I sold you, that you took for a ride, I could have sold it to EJ's Appliance to actually go out there and do a service call and do a first job complete. You know what I mean? So it kind of trickles down to, to all the other customers. So why you're saying I'm taking care of me is hurting the other customers as well. They could have had a chance to get that part. You know what I mean? So I think that it's not I understand that it's always going to be a need for it, right? There's always going to be, hey, I had to take this part on a ride because I don't know what's going to happen, but you're never going to really stop it. But it's that's what kind of hurts. from what I see. And the other
Yeah.
thing too that you guys can do also to kind of help us as well is like, whenever you guys have a problem, don't just wait. Sometimes we're busy. We're busy people just like you guys. I mean, we're seeing hundreds of customers within a month. So it takes a lot of our time. So as much as we want to be with you guys all the time, sometimes we just don't have the ability to be there. We can't all be at one place at all times. So the minute you get an issue, the minute you have a problem, man, reach out. We have in place. We have a huge sales team in place to be able to handle those questions and those problems. So I think that keep the communication active within your supplier and in the customer is key, for both our success.
Yeah. So I mean, following up on that, like what's I hate email, right? So like what's your favorite way to communicate? So if someone is in your area, what is the best way to communicate with you?
I say send me a text or give me a call. Like if it's like a website related issue where, hey, I had this part, I never got it. If you don't like sending emails, we have a live chat feature on our website. You can just go ahead and just live chat with us and say, hey, I have this problem, this package, I never got it, whatever. And then you can go ahead and talk with us. It's not a robot, it's an actual live person that's on payroll that can help you guys, or even we're not available, obviously, But I say always reach out to your partner.
We'll bring that one back up. No, I think it's important because like Dave and he started out like sending me emails. I'm like, bro, just text me or call me. Like I'm not an email dude. Like I'm not looking at that inbox.
Yeah.
Like, just don't even bother. So it's finding that rhythm with your sales rep. And I think George said it. Was it George that said it? No, it was Chris. Chris said it earlier. Chris said, like, reach out. Don't wait for your parts rep to reach out to you. Figure out who they are, right? And most of you guys are really trying to reach out to them, right? Like you just said that's your big push right now.
Got relationships. That's what it's all about. Build that relationship.
Yeah. Now, you may or may not be able to answer this question. We're going to put you in the hot seat here. All right? Are you ready? You ready? Huh?
Oh!
Why did Marcone stop carrying Supco? I'll tell you what, I just realized this because I was looking for the SUD 8358 dye dryer, UV dye dryer. If you're out there and you don't know that dye dryers exist, and they're not $80. They're SUD 8358. Marcone does not sell that anymore.
Son, if you would have made the trip to Chicago, I have a whole order of those sitting for you.
Hey, I'll be there. What do you know, Saul?
Well, so I'll try to do justice to his question. We do sell Supco parts. We sell them in the hard start kits, right? The BPV31 access valve. So we do sell some Supco. What we don't sell, it's the replacement Supco parts that replace OEM parts. So we're not allowed to sell those. The manufacturer says, hey, you cannot sell aftermarket parts and also sell my parts. So that is the reason why we generally pulled a lot of the inventory that had to do with aftermarket parts, right? Like ERP, for example, as well, not just Supco. So that's the reason why we do sell some. Yeah, we do sell some of it, but it has to be like the non-OEM that crosses over to non-OEM parts.
But a dye dryer, man, come on now. That's like slicing some hairs there.
We don't set the rules. This is manufacturing.
No, I get.
Hey,
I'm just playing, man.
Put in a good word for me, Saul. I know you're my boy. You got me. You're lean on your rep, as Reggie says. I'm leaning on you, brother. Chris, this is a good point, man, and this is real talk. Unfortunately, the manufacturers are changing parts faster than we can keep up. Trying to keep fast-moving parts on the shelf is getting harder and harder. It's changing, and as these guys already mentioned, there's so many different types. the stuff don't like knowing the universal type parts is huge, but even that's changing.
Oh,
I'm not
bad Canada.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Our boys up there in the north, they can do that. We got Reggie back.
Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah. We start talking.
You left me to the wolves answering all these questions about like what happened to market parts. I was trying to switch it to somebody can take the baton and say, here you go.
Zach, what was the question we asked that Reggie was ducking? Let's put him in the hot seat.
Oh yeah, let's.
Hey, we started talking about manufacturers working together and government, and it shut everything down.
He said, "I'm out."
I don't even remember. That was so 10 minutes ago. I don't remember now. Chris.
Back.
Well, that's because he hasn't tried that Supco one. Once you try that Supco one, you ain't going back. I promise. I love that Supco dye dryer. Hey, I've used both.
We ain't talking prices, but tell me the price. Tell me. PM me, Chris. Send me a message. I want to know.
So I think what I was asking kind of goes
and Zach's gone. So I don't know what he was asking.
Big brother is not liking the unity. Something's going on.
I'm telling you what.
All these tech issues.
Is he back?
Good night. That was redonkulous. All right. So I'm trying to scroll up to the question. And it throws me out of the studio.
You know what it is? God doesn't want you to ask that question.
There you go. Let's move on. Next question.
Saul, we got the divine favor here. The enemy may fight, but we're going to prevail.
Right on.
So it was a lot in line with this. Like, what are you guys seeing as far as the turnover of parts? Like the fast movers, like it's totally different than it was before. I know we kind of covered that a little bit with like the direct drive stuff, but that's kind of where the topic was heading, is that we have so much of this churn now. And I think right after that he got bounced out. So I think that's where we were. So I think we're back to square one now.
Fast moving parts. Let's see. You guys, 2 different markets, both in the Southeast. So there's that disclaimer for everybody out there. Top 3 most ordered parts that you see. That this does not mean you should order these parts. Listen to me. These are the top 3 parts that these guys have seen. What are they? Doug Shear did. He played a little game. He said, "Guess what one mine is?" And it was like over 1,000 more than a second. What do you see?
Man,
I would say I would put it more in a category, and I would say more like compressors and boards. You see a lot of, and a lot of that too will be obviously because of warranty. So that's what I see a lot of.
Yeah, I see like the LG drain pumps. We sell a ton of those, man. Those are like hot commodities, man. They move like hotcakes. But I mean, he's right. You can put them in like in the category because it's hard to say I'm gonna pick this top 3, right? There's a ton of them. Oh, thanks, LG.
Yeah, that's Samsung thanking LG for the drain pumps and the compressors and the boards.
Hold on. Let's play a game here. What was my fastest moving part?
Oh, I bet yours was dryer coils.
You're a jerk. You already knew that. I was trying to have the guest ask.
All right, guys, rewind. What do you think Zach's most commonly ordered part is?
No, we'll move. How many did I go through in the course of a year?
I don't know that answer. My guess
I'd say what it should be.
What should it be?
It should be fill hoses.
Fill hoses. Hey,
yep.
Upsell.
Exactly.
Upsell is good.
That's it.
But gas valve coils were an upsell too.
You heard it here first.
How many gas
maintenance items? Dryer rollers, maintenance items.
You know how we did it? We did it as 2 and 4 roller kits for Whirlpool, and then we did the gas valve coils with it. So there's a reason why that was my number one seller, because like the hoses, coils were that for the dryers. We saw a lot more dryers than anything else.
Yeah.
We would go through 600 coils a year.
Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of.
I was going to say 100.
600 a year when I had all 5 trucks running. We were going through 600 a year.
If I was to pick top 3, I would say the Electrolux Frigidaire flat igniter that ends with 6.6. The Samsung electric dryer element assembly. I do the entire canister.
The 86A?
Huh? Yeah.
86A?
The was it 486A?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say after that, just dryer roller kits or the 1706 compressor. Money makers. I love them. Hey, also the Supco drain heaters for the Samsungs. Thanks, Samsung. Thank you, Samsung. Samsung is paid my bills so I can go into full time. Thank you.
Yeah, that 5066 was my number 2 part.
Here's a great question.
Oh, good.
Which manufacturer are you seeing with the most backordered parts?
Wow.
Put them on blast.
Don't
want to
be honest with you, they're all kind of like catching up.
That was going to be my answer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're all catching up. I mean, some have done more than others, and it's just because a lot of them are in a newer market, so it's hard for them to say, hey, it's kind of unfair. It's an unfair question, but I would tell you that to be conservative, I would just say that a lot of them are just catching up to their back orders. That's the political.
I believe it's fair. I get people ask me all the time, like different industries and friends in the industry, how you doing on backorder parts? I mean, it went through spurts, different manufacturers, different time periods in the last 2 years. But I'm all right. Like it's not a whole lot of stuff I'm back ordering. Like the stuff that is back ordered is stuff that's just not available. So I don't back order it.
Before we go on to this, what were you going to ask, Reggie? You were going to ask a question.
I was going to ask you guys, what are your favorite repairs?
Oh, this 5066 all day long. The 5066 flat bar gas dry ignite all freaking day long. If I got a phone call for, we got an oven, no heat. Yep, throw it in my schedule. No problem. I'll squeeze it in.
So I would ask you, which is the one that you hate to work the most?
Cabrio tub bearing. I won't even do it.
Yeah, it's a roll of dice.
Any laundry center.
Yeah.
What laundry center?
The dryer part I don't really like.
Come to Chicago.
The Kenmore Laundry Center.
Come to Chicago and try and work on anything in a laundry center. No. The GE was pretty bad. The new Frigidaire, what was up with that sheet metal? Holy cow, you take that front panel off and the entire machine just like collapses. Oof. Oof. All right, here we go. Back to this question. Do parts houses give better pricing to certain or larger companies in an area? Is it regional? Can you answer that? I know we said no pricing. This is kind of like skirting that gray area a little bit. You can say no.
I'll tell you what, though. A lot of people think because there's a large company, they automatically are going to get like this great pricing. But what they don't realize is that larger companies come with a larger expense. Right, that means that I'm shipping more to you. It's costing me more money to ship. So I don't know if you can answer this, but I will tell you, we eat up a lot of the freight. Because we charge a flat rate to a customer, And if I'm shipping you 10 boxes and I'm only charging you one flat rate, we're losing money on that freight. So for larger companies, believe it or not, yeah, we negotiate. We always negotiate pricing, and we look at to see how we can grow, how we can partner. But it's always a one-on-one. It's not always saying, hey, because you're a large company, you're gonna get this great pricing. You could be a large company and do 90% warranty.
Yeah.
What is that going to do for a part supplier? You know what I mean? It's so, and if you're doing 90% warranty, does pricing really matter if ultimately you're going to get the the parts back, or the credit back to your account because it's warranty? So does it help? Sure. But that should always be a one-on-one conversation with your rep and your supplier, and then they can sit down and talk to you and say, hey, is there really something that we can both benefit from?
Right. I feel the answer to this question has so many branches and dynamics to it. Because something I've learned is the guy who thinks he's so big he should get the biggest discount usually is a small fish compared to there's always a big guy. There's always a bigger account. But for the most part, just good business in general, it's similar to like I used to run service calls, and you get someone that wants a discount because hey, how you come fix it? You'll be my guy. And for me as a servicer, I more felt like, well, I'll be fair. And also, I don't want to put my eggs in one basket because you decide to leave. Now, I didn't grow my customer base because I decided to dedicate myself to. In the case in point, like apartment complexes or landlords. So kind of off subject a little bit, but yeah. So it's a big dynamic, and also at the end of the day, we're all buying the parts from Whirlpool, Samsung. So we're not, we don't got we don't have a Smith shop in the back of the warehouse where we're banging out parts and making them by hand. So we're to the mercy of the manufacturers, so to speak, and also, and they're the mercy of the market. But one thing I tell you though, as an individual servicer, price probably shouldn't be. I'm probably get some haters on this one. Price shouldn't be as big of a deal because availability to me should be more important. Because if you want a discount, then you get a discount. It's like 25 cents less, and to us that'll be a big deal because we got thousands of parts, but to you it won't be. But I do feel like I'm probably going to another question now, but I just feel like the emphasis really should be on availability than price. But I think everybody's default is price. And it reminds me when I was in the car business, you get the guy walking in with cash and he's thinking he's going to get a better deal. Well, at the end of the day, it's going to be deposited into our account, into the business account. And, if we paid X amount for the car, and the profit's the profit. It might be a cash for your financing because, you're going to get the money from you and we'll get the money from the bank. So that's my long-winded answer.
Yeah, I think what Scott said in that last comment was perfect, though, and I think that's kind of what you were alluding to, if I understood you correctly, Reggie. Like availability, the service that you're getting from your representative, right? Like those are the things that actually move the needle at the end of the day.
Yeah, right. And that's true. Like, what's the matter if I give you the great price, but I don't give you great service?
Right.
Am I going to be there when you really, really need me?
Now, this one,
I'm going to just put fast forward. Hey, I want to just put you like, I'm not going to answer your call, but you got this great pricing.
Right. Yep. And then you have people too. It's like, they're stuck on price, and then they go to another supplier, and then they find out, oh, it was only $1 difference. It wasn't a huge difference, and I think people think it's just you pay $100 part, it's just got to be 90% markup. It just don't work that way. It's not.
So I got one for you because I experienced this myself. So we'll see if you guys are game to answer it or not. What's the deal with getting a bunch of open box parts that are clearly like either used, installed, whatever, coming back to us? And we all know that there's guys in our areas that are doing this and sending the parts back because they're jerks. But I thought you guys had some quality control, and that's kind of where this question is going. Like, what's being done to address some of these quality control issues? If you can answer, if you can't, hey, this is one I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire on.
And I'll answer that one real quick, and then and then Reggie, you can take over if you like.
Yeah.
So when we get a part from a customer, it goes to like literally 2 stages, from our return center. It goes to like when somebody oversees the part, looks at it, says, okay, this doesn't, it could be installed, but it's not installed. Let me put it on a different dock, and we put it on somebody else. Somebody else looks at that part and ultimately makes the final decision where it's a used part or a new part. If it's a 50-50 shot, dude, I'm giving you the credit all day long. I'm not even going to ask you. That's just us. Now, we understand that there's human beings handling these parts, right? So as much as you can train people on it, as much as you spend time going over the process, things are always going to slip because it's not just one part that's being returned; it's thousands of parts that are being returned, and they fall through the cracks. And I'll tell you what has happened a lot too. We'll ship out a part to a client, and sometimes the part just arrives broken, the box is crashed. When it leaves our facilities, it's in a perfect box, but when it gets to you, it's all crushed. You're like, oh, look at this part. You know it wasn't shipped like that. It was probably like a carrier damage. Now we use both carriers, like we use UPS and FedEx, and we let you choose who you want to use. Whichever we let them fight for your business. We don't care because ultimately we really don't make money in the shipping anyways. But that's what I see a lot. More so than install parts. Are they going to happen? Yeah, absolutely, they're going to happen. But when you get those issues, we usually say, hey, I'm sorry you got that part. Let's take a picture. Let's look at it. We'll address it. When we ship you the part, we know who packed it, who picked it, and who shipped it. You know what I mean? So we're able to locate who touched that part, where it came from, and we're able to kind of like go to the backstep, and we don't fight nobody over it. We just use those things as training tools to say, hey guys, how can we get better at making sure these things don't happen? But it's the nature of the beast. Is always going to happen.
Though we all should be fighting FedEx and UPS because I have to agree with you. Like those two, oh my gosh, it's like a freaking brick wall. Like they are bad.
Yeah,
bad.
Yeah, my answer is very similar, and so it's funny because when you talk to a customer who's experienced that for the first time, the parts part gets all the blame, and it's just a distribution business common issue, especially if you accept returns. And then in a perfect world, if everybody that had something to do with the appliance business, from parts to machine delivery, lean on your rep. Machine delivery was a technician, things would be way better. Because there's times I would catch stuff, and that's what I tell my customers. I said, keep in mind, it's like Saul said, the people in the warehouse aren't technicians. And so it might have been you, EJ. We had a return one time, was a refrigerator evaporator fan, and they stole the fan out of it and got returned. And nobody, the guy, they didn't know. They saw this big old piece, like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. So stuff like that happens, but we do lock down on quality control. There is a tracking system in place to hold our people accountable, and also hold customers accountable, because there are theft on some returns. So we definitely have a system in place. That's just a must.
I do gotta call you guys. I gotta call. This is manufacturers mostly. But some supply houses are guilty of this. Yeah. Fragile parts in a freaking envelope. Come on now.
Yeah, that is true. But like, to answer that question, and some of the parts come like that. They come in like padded envelope, and sometimes, if we spend the time repackaging every single part the way that it comes in, we'll never ship out clean. Right. We ship out clean every single night out of all of our hubs. If we spent time just, this part needs to be extra packed, we will never ship out clean. And we do it like a special request, like, hey guys, can you make sure this part gets shipped out, extra packet, and we'll go the extra mile. But if the manufacturers, and I hate to say that because we love all of them, right? But if they don't want to repackage their parts, we can't really do it for them. It's just it's hard for us to do that.
I understand the reality. That's why I said it the way I said it, brother. Like,
yeah. Hey, you think parts are expensive now? Wait till we gotta secure put them in pillows and ship them.
No, but there are times where like it comes to you guys as like, nothing. Like,
right.
And
again,
there needs to be a little extra care.
Yeah, and again,
somehow
that goes back to technicians not being in the warehouse, and they don't know what's inside that box a lot of times, history though does teach us, right? And you start to get a bunch of returns on a certain thing, like, okay, we need to do something different on that particular part, or hey, this is glass in here, so there are procedures in place, but every once in a while there's a part that kind of throws them off, and but again, I do believe we do a really, really good job of documenting and learning to remember, to make sure that doesn't happen again in the future. You definitely, because if it happens all the time, that's when it's a problem.
So this is why we do the hot seat, because look at this right here. We have someone who works for the manufacturer, and this man is going to be barking up the food chain as loud as he can, as long as he has the proof to do it.
So I wanted to say something on that too. So we dropped this up quietly. Reggie started the trend. Lean on your rep.
It's patented, so Saul, you can't use that.
Whoever your rep is.
I'm joking.
So I'll tell you this from my experience. I've experienced these things from all part suppliers I've dealt with. And I'll tell you, for the two that showed up today, shout out to them. Every time I've had an issue, fixed quickly, easily, no questions asked, because it's rare. You guys know if I'm calling or sending you a message saying, hey, this is messed up, I ain't making it up. You guys got my back. You've had my back. Reggie, I had to call on Reggie once. I ordered a dryer drum for a Samsung, and the drum came in destroyed from the carrier. That ain't Reggie's fault. I guarantee it didn't come from Atlanta Encompass smashed. But what they do, they sent me another one. Said, we got you. They take care of it. That's shout out to my rep. Lean on your rep.
On your rep.
So and like Rob said, pictures. Make their job easy. Right? If I just said, hey, this is messed up, and you're like, okay, well, whatever. I'm sending you pictures, order numbers, description. We can chat on the phone. I want your job to be easy. I want to help you help me, and it works.
Yeah, and I think people also they got to keep in mind, like, because sometimes you get, and I understand, like, especially running a business can be frustrating. But if you have an issue, it's probably not the first time we've dealt with it. Or because sometimes like somebody gets a bad part like we're talking about. Hey, why don't you guys just check it better? Like, it's like, no, yeah, pictures and just be understanding. Just like, your business isn't perfect, ours isn't either. But we're gonna strive to get it perfect. And also, if you don't let us know there's an issue, we can't fix it. We can't fix it.
That's
I mean,
fair.
you can pout on social media and bash all day, but if you don't let us know, we can't fix it.
So we're gonna close it up with this question here. This is a great question to end on.
Question.
What makes a supply house stop working with a servicing company? Is that a frequent thing other than unpaid bills? Because we all know that's one reason a company is going to get dropped? Are there other things that happen? Is it a trend? What's going on?
I mean, we usually, before we even consider these things, we always kind of sit down and talk with the customer one-on-one, right? It's not a trend. It doesn't happen very often. Even with like the customers who have like, the old money, for example, we try to work with those customers. We don't just throw them out to dry, because it happens, sometimes, God forbid, servicers, they have hard times. They go through hard times. Not every business is always going to be profitable. There's going to be times where those businesses are going to have these moments where, hey man, I'm not getting those service calls that I was getting every day. And we understand that, so that's why we try to work with the customers. We put them on payment plans. Say, hey man, let's work with you. Let's try to salvage your business. Let us know how we can help you. We don't just turn you off and say, hey, we're not going to sell to you anymore. That's not what a partnership's about. When we partner with you, it's for the long haul. It's through the beginning and to the end, and whatever that is. So it doesn't happen all the time. And there's cases where, there are some customers who are just, unfortunately, you can never please, but they're very, very, very minute. And yeah, I've had to sit down conversations where we have to tell customers, hey, look, I'm sorry, but we can no longer serve you anymore. And that's to me, I think that's the hardest thing that I've had to deal with, because it breaks my heart to do that. It really breaks my heart to do that, because, we're in this business to try to grow it, and to say, hey, I have to just say no. It hurts. It hurts because, I'm here to try to grow your business, not to hurt it. So
yeah, for us is very rare. Usually abuse, because if you're returning used parts that you swapped out, or you cut something off something else, and I mean even with that is a forgivable action, but it's documented, and we say, okay, this is what it is. Yeah, that's because now you're hurting our other customers,
right?
And so I mean, it's rare though, but there's a watchdog for that.
It's actually probably more rare than it is for us as servicers to fire customers.
Right. Yeah, but as a servicer, it feels so good sometimes. What you got? No, I do not. Especially a long wolf.
Yeah.
But we've even had like people who defaulted because I would say business is like a roller coaster, man. And it's times when you're down and things just don't go right. You may make the bad decision, but then you'll learn, and then you come back. Like you're never dead to us. Even when it comes to say, hey, this is what. Even when we sent you to collections, hey, we sent you to collections. This is what it costs to do that. Just give us this amount, or we'll do a payment. We'll work with you, and let's get you back going. Because the industry needs you. We're like I was talking to the guy, Department of Labor, man, and trying to work, got a program and works with that. And the industry, we need more techs. We need people out there fixing appliances. So,
well, it's a great way to end it. I'm gonna say, the industry needs you two. Saul, Reggie, we need more of you. We thank you from inside. Deep down inside, man. Nothing but love for you guys. We wish nothing but continued success for you both. Any closing words? How people can get a hold of you?
Yes. Hashtag lean on your rep. I will pop up, I guarantee you, no matter what platform it is. Or if simple, R.E. Williams at Encompass.com. Also, I want to say, EJ, you guys, that your platform, your Facebook group. I tell people all the time, because I go out and tell people, hey, you on Facebook? No, it's negative. Like, join Appliance Alliance. You know what I mean? I tell them all, go to you guys' group, because you guys monitor it so well. And I'm not, nobody's perfect, but you guys monitor it so well, man. Yeah, y'all run a clean ship. It's very good, and I look forward to you guys' continued success, and whatever I can do to contribute to that, let me know.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that feedback for sure. That is definitely a high compliment, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Saul.
Yeah, and for me, man, you can reach me at saul.flores@marcone.com. Even if I'm not your rep and you're in a different market, you can send me an email and I'll always get in touch with somebody that can help you. Understand, dude, that I'm always on the go. So if I don't get to you right away, man, I answer my emails all the time. You'll see an email at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's just the way it is. This business, you never really disconnect, right? You're always, even on vacation, you're always working. So you can reach me there. So, and I just want to kind of follow up with that. So I love you guys' show in the morning. It's fresh air for me when I get up and I put you guys on in the morning. I enjoy listening to the prayer, as you guys know, my faith and what I believe. So when I hear you guys in the morning, it's always, it's always that cup, that overflows. The word says, it's that overflowing cup. And I enjoy listening to that. And for me, it just gives me the start of the day, and I just, I find kind of hoping throughout my day, because sometimes it's not always an easy day. Sometimes it's a little bit harder, but I battle through it, and part of that is listening to you guys in the morning with that message, that wonderful message.
That's awesome. We appreciate that feedback, man. We love that.
So I also want to say Saul doesn't have a hashtag yet, so we're going to give him one. Hashtag better call Saul. Saul.
Oh my goodness.
Better call Saul. I don't know if it's taken yet, but we're going to make it a thing. That's a joke. Hey, thank you guys so much. And thank you out there watching. We do this for you. We hope you enjoy it. Tune in.
This is what we're shooting for. September 13th. Tim? Rob?
Juan?
Come on now. Let's shoot for September 13th. Come on. It'll be fun. These guys aren't dead. It'll be fun.
I'll tell you what, those questions were kind of tough, man. But I feel like they just kind of just threw me out to the wolves, man. You kind of disconnected on them, but it's all good.
I appreciate you guys having this, man, because it's things that need to be discussed and talked about and addressed, especially the return parts issue. And like, it's an industry thing, not a Marcone, not an Encompass. It's just how parts distribution works, and it's great to be able to speak to a broad audience and have you guys as moderator of that, man. So,
well, that's kind of why we do it. We have, at least me, in the position that I'm in, I can kind of take the unbiased media stance to things, right? So, and really moderate that, like you said. So it's our honor to be able to do that, and that's why we do ask the hard questions and do push certain things. There we go. All right, we got. He should be cleared to go by then. And Tim Burdick is in, so we just need to get our buddy Juan, and it'll be a good show.
Tim Burdick's my guy.
All right. Yeah, I love Tim. I did a podcast with him. He's a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to having Tim.
Yeah, there's somebody that put like a comment that says they wanted to reach me. Just like I said, my email is saul.flores@marcone.com. So if you have any questions, sure. I'm available tonight because I'll be on my computer, so you can shoot me an email tonight. No problems.
Can you guys type our emails in the comments? Or
yeah, I'm working on that right now. You beat me to it.
You got me R.E. Williams at Encompass.com.
Are you getting his?
I didn't do that one.
Well, come on now, son.
I don't know who did it, but it wasn't me.
That's funny. Reggie, what was yours again?
R.E. Williams at Encompass.com. REWILLIAMS.
Hashtag lean on your rep.
Lean
hashtag
on
better call Saul Flores.
Your rep.
See if I did that right.
Yep.
All right, there we go.
That's it. That's it.
All right, so I'm going to flash those again real quick. So take a screenshot, do whatever you got to do, get that.
Hold on, make silly faces.
All right, that's your screenshot. Here we go. Here's the next one.
Am I the only one doing it? Oh,
No, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing silly faces.
I'm laughing at you guys. You're hilarious.
All right, hopefully you got your screenshots, and we will see you guys again September 13th. And tune in tomorrow. We got the morning grind again. Have a good night, guys. Peace out, and thank you to our guests.